friends, it's Amy. Welcome to my bookish life. I had a request on one of my wrap-ups to show more of my book journal. And so I thought I would go through the first quarter of 2022. So this is my journal. So this is my cover page, and I got this idea from Amanda at the Curly Reader, where she has the year on the cover, and then each month she adds an element from her theme onto the cover page. So I decided to do that with mine as well. I also got this from Amanda at the Curly Reader. She's been very influential, but for this I decided to do the Dutch doors to keep track of arcs that I have. I'm really excited about how it turned out. I'm pretty proud of it. Then I have some goals that you can see. I'm not super great on all of them, but 24 nonfiction books, 12 graphic novels, 12 novels in verse, 12 Kindle backlog. I actually will have three more by the end of April, so I'm pretty excited about that. And then book of the month, 8 book of the months. I have read none, so I need to work on that. And then I did a list of 20 and 22. I know 22 and 22 is the way to follow what's supposed to happen, but I didn't do that. This is my reading stats page. So I'm looking at how many adult books, how many YA, how many middle grade. I don't have a lot of young adult ever, so this is not surprising to me. I do focus a lot more on middle grade and adult. I kind of would like to see this adult number get higher, but middle grade March happened, so you're going to have that. Fiction, nonfiction, I would like to see this number go up at least a little bit more. Rereads, read alouds. So that is books that I read to my classes. So I mark those off as read alouds. ARCs, book clubs, read-alongs, and buddy reads. And then anything in the 5-star range, anything in the 4-star, so that would be 4, 4.5, 4.25, 4.75. Usually I stick with half stars, but every once in a while I go a little crazy. So anything in the 4-star range, 3-star range, and 2 stars and under. Graphic novels, novels in verse. 2022 publication and 2021 publication, and then owned versus borrowed, and then a total number of pages for that month. And then I keep track of the books for Buzzwordathon, or the Buzzwordathon reading challenge. So January I read Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. February, I read Anybody Here Seen Frenchie. In March, I read Dead End in Norvelt. Norvelt was a location. Then Read Your Bookshelves challenge for January was Quiet. I read Peaceful Neighbor. February was Love, and I read The Lovely War. March was Growth, and In the Shape of Thunder, the girls grow in their friendship. And then I keep track of my in-person book club reads. So January we read The Thursday Murder Club, which I gave 5 stars. Becoming Mrs. Lewis we read in February. I gave 4 stars. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue I read in March, and I gave it 4 stars. But I'm still kind of waffling there. And then the Silent Book Club that I participate in has a theme for every month. So January we did winter, February rom-coms or dark comedies, March we did a favorite series continuation. And then for genres, this is something new that I added this year. So realistic fiction, historical fiction, cozy mysteries, thriller, and like darker mysteries. I'd put here science fiction, fantasy, classics, romance, and then so this would be romance or rom-com. And then nonfiction, I have informational, memoir, and autobiography, biography. And then I loved this idea to do the books in pixels. So every month we'll have a different color, and then I color in a pixel for every book that I read. There are 250, I think, spaces here, so I don't know that I will use all of them. All right, so then I start January. So here is my cover page, and I started doing cover pages midway through the year last year because I just thought it was fun. So this year, for January, I did a confetti theme. So I took all of this washi tape and I just cut them into little pieces of confetti and affixed them to the page. So it looks like they're bursting out. I just love it. I love how it turned out. January, I love the font that I used there and how I went around it. I mean, it's not the greatest, but I really liked it. So then my January stats page. So the audience, the format, how many books I read, the total number of pages, fiction and nonfiction, rating, source, whether I owned it or borrowed it, and if I own it, but I also borrow the audiobook or whatever, I still put it as owned so that, whatever. And then the Kindle book of the month and ARCs, and then average pages per day, average number of pages per book, and average reading. And then I try to reflect a little bit on my month, and then I add my favorite. And then my TBR page, I try to do some kind of cute font for TBR because it just takes 2-3 letters. So I get to be kind of creative there. And then for each of these pages, I took one washi tape, and use just that for that page. So this is all this washi tape, and this page is all this washi tape. I just went a little crazy with washi tape. So then I wrote down words or books that I wanted to read. You can see I actually did not read this book yet. I'm still hoping to. And then here is my record page. I have a color for adult, a color for young adult, and a color for middle grade. And then I put the book title, the genre, the year it was published, fiction or nonfiction, physical, digital, audio, the style, graphic novel, verse, prose, epistolary, or mixed media. Reread, read aloud, read along, book club, buddy read, whether it was a book of the month or an ARC, where I got the book from, star rating, and pages. Then I keep track of the books that I have hauled. I am not always great about making sure that I fill this page out, so that's definitely something that I need to work on and make sure that I keep up to date. This is the tape that I made the confetti of. This is the tape that I made this confetti. This is books recommended. So what was happening is that I was putting books on my Goodreads want to read, but then I wasn't marking why I was putting them on my want to read, and then I couldn't figure out where it had come from. I try to write down who it was recommended by and why I thought it was interesting, and sometimes it's not really recommended by them, it's just a book that they're talking about, and so I try to be cognizant about why I'm putting books on my TBR. So sometimes it's just for me. And then this I made a video about. This is Ruby Red's Tic Tac TBR. And I actually just realized that I spelled Ruby Red wrong. Sorry about that, Ruby. So I have been doing one of these every month just for fun. And in January, I succeeded in completely filling it out. I was very proud of myself. I can link that video down below. And then I divide each page into 3, and I record my thoughts about each book, and I like to get creative in how I do the title. Sometimes I'm more creative than others. I try to go a little bit along with the colors of the cover and things like that. Put the title, I put the star rating, and then I put the author. And then along the bottom, I do a hashtag. So I put the genre, where I got the book from sometimes, sometimes the subject of the book. I'll put if it's a middle grade. Here, this is a mistaken identity. This is a long-distance relationship. It's a rom-com. It takes place at a Ren fair. Here was a biography, nonfiction. I had a lot of nostalgia attached to it because it was about Mr. Rogers, and it was for the Read Yourselves book challenge. So, and then I just kind of write some notes. And then that brings me to February. So February, I did a conversation heart theme. I loved how it was framed in there. I loved how it was framed. So I really liked that and wanted to incorporate that into it. And then I chose a font that had a heart on it. I don't know. I just really like how this looks. I think it's really I like how this looks. I think it's really cute. And my February stats, it's a little bit plain, but I just added some hearts there. The same information is here. TBR, I had the hearts. I love these. I don't know why. I just think they're so cool. Usually if I read a book after it's been on my TBR, I try to go back and mark when I actually did read it. So Just Right, Jillian was not read in February, but I did read it in April. And Keeper 6, I didn't finish in February, but I did finish it in March. So I try to go back and look at it and figure that out. Here is this page. Check. Very little on the hauls. Recommendations went a little crazy. My Tic Tac TBR was not so successful. I did have a tic-tac-toe here, and I had a tic-tac-toe here, but I did not fill out all of the spaces, and that's fine. So here are my books for February. And then I just added stickers because I felt like it. Then this is March. I'm so very proud of this cover page for March. I just love the colors. I love the different sizes of the dots. And even the white in, I'm so proud of myself here. My March stats, it took me forever to do this font, but I love how it looks. I just think it looks classy. This was middle grade March, so my TBR looks a little bit different. I made my rainbow, and then I put like different possibilities for each of the middle grade March prompts, and then I just highlighted them and marked them off as I read them. So you'll see that I read from all of the prompts, and my others are all filled, but I didn't necessarily read all of the books that I wrote down. And I love this. I just love all the colors. This page I didn't love as much. I had something else here and I covered it. But you'll notice green is my middle grade, and all but 2 of my books were middle grade. So, and hauled. I hauled quite a bit. But I had a book outlet order that was pretty big, and a Scholastic order that was pretty big, but they were tame. Books that I added to my TBR on Goodreads. And then I took the middle grade March prompts and I marked off, for all of the books that I read, I marked off what they fell under. And then I was very successful with Tic Tac TBR for Ruby Red. So, And here are the books that I read for March. I love what I did with Yummy here. It just makes my heart happy to see that. And that starts quarter 2. So I hope you enjoyed this flip through. In July, I will go through April, May, and June. There you have it. I hope that you are finding something wonderful to read. And until next time, happy reading. Bye.